Well, good afternoon, everyone. And before I begin, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize, the employees of both the Department of Public Works and also parks as well. Throughout COVID and throughout the summer, and one of the rainiest summers we've seen in a very long time, we've had them out there working hard to ensure that we keep the city looking great, and they will continue that hard work moving forward. So we're about to even add to that work right now after this announcement this afternoon. So in January of 2020, I made a promise. I made a promise and I pledged that my administration would work to ensure all Richmonders have a park or open green space within a 10-minute walk from their home. To begin working on that goal, I formed the Green Team. Yes, the name is the Green Team. It's very, very simple. Today, you'll see evidence of this entire community's dedication to that commitment. From where we're standing right now, we'd have to walk 20 minutes in either direction, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, to along or across busy thoroughfares to get to a public green space. I wouldn't want our kids or our older residents having to make that dangerous walk, nor should they. That's why on September 28th, I'll introduce an ordinance to turn this city-owned parcel behind me, along with 4 others, into public green spaces in the city of Richmond. We're turning 5 parcels of unused city land in Richmond's Southside into open, flexible, green spaces designed with community input and environmental impact in mind. That's an applause line right there. And we'll be getting this done with the help of the Parks and Recreation Workforce Development Team. These are the individuals in the blue shirts right here. This is a group of folks who were connected to this training opportunity through the Office of Community Wealth Building, or were former returning citizens employed by the city to use community input to transform green space into usable public space. All told, this ordinance proposes adding over 36 acres of green space where we need it most, in South Richmond, in Southside. This is in addition to the 20 acres of new parks my administration has added and 287 additional park acres that will be protected from development by the end of the year. The benefits of green spaces are irrefutable, and they are unmatched. And it's clear not everyone in the city has been historically afforded these benefits. Currently, 22% of Richmond residents live beyond a 10-minute walk to one of the city's 164 parks, and public parks make up only 6% of the city's land area. Compare that figure to a national median of 15%, and it's clear we have work to do. Our work began by exploring the patterns and access to green spaces. Using a climate equity index, which neighborhoods saw the least shade or the highest temperatures, which communities had the longest walk to an open field. And sadly, I don't think you'll be surprised by what we found. I know I wasn't. Access to green spaces make our communities healthier, wealthier, and happier. So it is any surprise that racist decisions have led to built environment that favors white communities over communities of color. Neighborhoods that look like Broad Rock always took the back seat when it came to designing our city. This was not an accident. This was purposeful. And it is our job to intentionally correct that injustice, to right those wrongs. Because regardless of your child's race, their ethnicity, gender, family income, zip code, they should be able to walk down the street and spend a summer afternoon in a welcoming, verdant space. But that's simply not the way our city was designed. We are changing that right here, right now, starting with this space right behind me. In Richmond, we don't have the luxury of appointing one person in charge of equity or speaking equity into existence via proclamation or resolution. Instead, we must apply the lens of equity to all of our projects, using it as an evaluative tool and not just a buzzword. We have to ask, who is this designed for? Who is carrying it out? And who is it benefiting? Yeah. My team has always used restorative justice as the foundation on which to build One Richmond. We funded and built the Pulse Bus Rapid Transit system to provide fast, reliable service down a central corridor of our city for those who rely on public transportation. I made a bold commitment to breaking ground on 1,500 new affordable housing units designed for affordability for residents for Richmond's low-income residents, veterans, teens living in foster care, among others, by 2023. And we'll exceed that goal by the end of 2020. We just unveiled 3 entirely new schools in communities of color and have ensured every student in Richmond Public Schools has access to an out-of-school time program at or near their current school. And each year, I present a budget that funds opportunities for those who haven't been afforded a fair shake in the past, from formerly incarcerated individuals to black mothers and babies. Those initiatives haven't been on a whim. They haven't been for show. They are designed to right a wrong, correct an injustice, and to deliver on equity. And we aren't going to slow down. Building an inclusive and equitable competitive city requires the ability to use restorative justice as a foundation for each and every policy, procedure, and project that comes out of City Hall. Justice is the root of all the work we've done and the work we will do in the future. We have to reimagine public safety, resolve and prevent health disparities, provide affordable and quality housing for all, enhance equitable transit and mobility, build on community wealth, support children and families, bring about environmental justice, and strengthen community engagement. Today, I'm providing just an example of this by showing how we're building equity through environmental justice and through sustainability. But this framework is so much larger than 13 acres behind me. It's rooted in my experience not only as mayor, but also as a black man here in the city of Richmond. And I know we've made real progress on it, but there's always room to grow, and grow we will. The team that made these 36 acres of new green space a reality is dedicated to a foundational belief in equity and a dedication to building a city that reflects that same priority. So I would be remiss if I did not call some people out and thank them individually. I want to thank Chris Frelke and Ryan Wren from the Department of Parks and Recreation and Community Facilities, Alicia Zatkoff and Brianne Mullen from the Office of Sustainability. I want to thank the Departments of Economic Development, Public Works, Public Utilities, and Planning for their collaboration and dedication of their land to this important project. I want to thank Green Team chairs, Dr. Jeremy Hoffman of the Science Museum of Virginia, Nisa Dean of the Alliance for the Chesapeake Bay, Fraser Armstrong of Capitol Trees, and Daniel Klein of our Green City Commission, and the entire Green Team for their assiduous work on behalf of the city. And lastly, I am so genuinely thankful to our council members as well. Council member Michael Jones could not be with us today. He's a little under weather. He and Councilwoman Reva Tremmel here will Thank you. You're welcome. Will be co-patroning this ordinance with me, and I am thankful for their collaboration on this worthwhile project. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move forward. Let's move forward with intentionality, with grace, and with the knowledge that every day presents an opportunity to make our city the city that we want it to be, a better place for all Richmonders. Thank you so much.
The biggest demolition ever, right here.
I want to ask,
2001.
you can say that right here, Councilwoman Trammell. I want to ask Councilwoman Trammell to come up and say a few words real quick. Yes, you may. I'm going to put mine on, but you can take yours off, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. This right here is the biggest demolition ever in the city of Richmond in 2002. These used to be the Madison Arms apartments where it was nothing but crime, crime, crime. And we've been told for years and years and years, we're going to clean it up, we're going to do this. This mayor has kept his word. He has given us a park in my 8th district. Not only one park, but 2 other parks. One on Ernest Road, which is off of Castlewood Road. The other one, Rosemont, which is in Woodstock. And I want to just say thank you, Mayor, for keeping your word. Like I said, this has just been an eyesore for this area for years and years and years. And it's been broken promises, but as of today, you see there is no broken promise here. This is the truth. This is the truth. 13 acres. Also, we're looking at affordable housing, too, that the mayor mentioned, along with this park that my people deserve. My people deserve this. And I want to say thank you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman. We'll take some questions. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Frelke, I'm sorry.
This is a really big day, and this is a very exciting moment. First, though, I want to take an opportunity. I know the mayor really thanked a lot of people who have been part of this, but we also need to thank the mayor and city council for the vision that they had for this amazing project that we are here in front of today. So let's give the mayor and council a huge, because they saw the need to address the social inequities in our community by creating the green space that we have here today. But this couldn't happen without all the partners that the mayor mentioned and without a phenomenal team that we have in Parks and Recreation. I'd also like to mention that you see behind us the workforce development team. This will be one integral team of many that will come into these spaces and help to reimagine and reshape this to make this a park place for the kids that we see around this community, so they will now have a place that they can walk and to enjoy and not have to go 20 minutes to get to a park. So this is another huge stage just for the neighborhood right here. This is a proud day for the field of Parks and Recreation, because we see here that this is not only something that is essential to our community, but our leadership understands the value of Parks and Recreation in building quality communities, and that this is a huge step forward for our community. We have seen our mayor and council take bold steps to get rid of symbols of hate and diversiveness in our community. But today, we see them make other big steps to build our community. These will bring our community together through unity. These will be spaces that we can all come together and enjoy and improve our society as one. So this, to me, is an amazing day that we see all these things happen, and as we move forward as one Richmond. And I just want to highlight what a strong record that we have had under Mayor Stoney and under under Mayor Stoney. I was doing so good. Under Mayor Stoney and our council is that we have seen funds go to Broad Rock Sports Complex. We are seeing the first skate park getting ready to be built at Southside Community Center. We have seen improvements to Abner Clay. We have also seen long-awaited Fulton finally getting the historical park built in that area. We have also seen Blackwell and Oak Grove Playground improvements made. Belle Mead, if any of you all have been out there, there's been a major transformation that have occurred there. And we finally got football lights at Hickory Hill. So there has been a tremendous amount of investment that has been done over the last 4 years by Mayor Stoney and his administration. So I wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for all the great things that we are seeing happen in Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Chris.
And now, Fraser Armstrong to talk a few words from Capitol Trees. Were you going to say a few things?
No. I'll be happy to say a few words, very few
And
words.
oh,
Go, go.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brianne Mullen, and I'm the Sustainability Coordinator with the Office of Sustainability. And I was honored to have the opportunity to co-lead the Land Identification Working Group for the Mayor's Green Team, along with Jeremy Hoffman, who is the Chief Scientist at the Science Museum of Virginia, and to work with so many wonderful city and community partners. Mayor Stoney charged the Green Team with using an equity approach to identify potential new public green spaces within our community. To accomplish this task, we used two innovative tools to objectively identify where currently unoccupied city-owned land would produce the most benefit to the Richmonders who need it. We used these tools to identify where those who are more at risk due to climate change, those who live in areas of the city that experience more extreme heat, and those without access to a vehicle who may not have the ability to get to a cooler green space to seek relief and recreation. Our working group used Dr. Hoffman's Urban Heat Island Assessment, which identified those neighborhoods in our community with the highest temperatures, and we also used the RVA Green 2050 Climate Equity Index, which was created by our office, the Office of Sustainability. The index combines 39 health, housing, and demographic factors to identify Richmond neighborhoods that are on the front lines of climate change. Those who are facing impacts like flooding and heat, and those who are least able to adapt to those impacts. By looking at this data, we see that communities of color are more at risk. Due to historic and institutional racism, people of color are more likely to live in these marginalized areas that are more exposed and more susceptible to climate impacts. That is why it is so important that we center equity in this project to help neighborhoods that need it most, and in doing so, create a healthier and more resilient Richmond for all. Thank you.
Well, now we can open with questions. Any questions from the media?
You've commented a bit about the benefits in terms of exposure to climate change and heat. Can you talk a little bit about more of the community benefits of having green spaces nearby?
Yeah, the question was about, the community benefits of having a green space in your neighborhood. First, you don't have to walk 20 minutes to a park, right? I think every resident in this city deserves a 10-minute walk to a park. Number two, it creates for a healthier and a wealthier community as well. And you will see land value go up because of parks as well. It's just, I think, so many benefits that a lot of our communities currently are not afforded. And it's long overdue here in Southside. And I'm glad to work with the city council to make it a reality. And so it's our hope that, we don't see any further stories like the one we saw in the New York Times at the end of the day, right? Highlighting the inequities that we've seen in our city. Inequities that I think we all have always known of. But we gotta use that work and make something of it. And we gotta start with green space, I think, and that's a good thing.
Exactly what is the cost of this project, even with the help of funding overall? What is the expected cost of this outcome?
There are, this is city-owned land right here. We're using our city employees to ready the space for our community, so there's really no new costs or whatnot moving forward. We're going to work as expeditiously as possible to get this prepared for the community, but really no real new costs. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the community and see what they want to do with the green space, and then after that we can find out what the cost will be on what type of green space it will be. Will it be a park? Will it be trails? You name it. Those are the next steps after we prepared the space for the community.
Do you have a timeline when you anticipate this being available to people?
Chris, you want to take that question on?
Yep.
Well, Ryan?
We are still working through those details. First of all, we've got to get the ordinance passed. So it gets introduced on the 28th. And so once that gets introduced, hopefully within 2 weeks it gets passed, and then we can start having community meetings. Depending on what we learn from the community and what we want to see in the park will really drive that timeline. But we want to get started as soon as possible. We see the need. This is an amazing space that we can transform. I mean, just think about it. We are sitting out here and you're listening to birds. You see this amazing potential for a stream right behind us. We want to be able to get Richmonders access to this as soon as possible.
I think what we are, essentially to wrap this all up, I think what we're celebrating today is the designation, right, the designation of new park acreage in the city of Richmond. And I think it's one of the first additions we've seen since the mid-'70s, I believe. So that's a major deal, particularly for this part of the city of Richmond as well. So.
How many acres is this?
13. 13 behind us, right? Yeah, but 36 total of the 5 projects. Okay. Well, thank you, everyone. Enjoy this beautiful weather. Take care.